Employment in the agricultural sector. Considering that the large share of the working poor are engaged in agriculture, developments in that sector have a major impact on welfare throughout much of the world. Employment growth is driven mostly by demographic changes. Until 2000, agriculture was the mainstay of employment around the world. Since then, the services sector has assumed this mantle and the gap between the two has widened. Although employment growth in agriculture has slowed, the number of workers in this sector reached over 1 billion in 2009. Poverty is the principal driver of the high rate of child labor in agriculture. The agricultural sector has the highest incidence of both unpaid child labor and entry into the workforce. In the sub-Saharan Africa, over 60% of the entire workforce are involved in agriculture. Agriculture's performance assumes greater significance in view of the recently passed Food Security Act and the ongoing National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme. Agriculture supports the vast majority of low-income, poor and vulnerable people. In this lesson, let us explore the different aspects of employment in agriculture from the following headings. Employment and income in agriculture, gender aspects of agricultural employment, emerging options in agricultural employment across states, MNREGA scheme, employment and income in agriculture. The impact on employment in the agricultural sector comprises two factors. The first consists of losses in production and farmland as well as damage to infrastructure. The second has to do with a combination of indirect factors such as the farm workers losing access to housing when farm work is suspended or partially curtailed. There are encouraging examples of post-harvest reduction initiatives that have had significant economic and employment benefits for farmers in the developing world. Net short-term declines in employment are projected for fishery and forestry in the range of 2 to 5 million jobs, where the effects of reduced production driven by conservation measures offset the gains in natural resource management and stock rebuilding. On the other hand, in the longer term, higher natural stocks support the creation of new and additional jobs. Agriculture accounts for almost 60% of the aggregate employment in India. Employment in agriculture is rural-based, 97%. Growth of agricultural income during the 90s is not only satisfactory and significant, it is marginally higher, 0.02%, than the corresponding rate of growth in the 80s. The income trend for allied activities is encouraging. In forestry and fisheries, the income growth is not only positive, but it is marginally higher than the previous decade. In the case of livestock, though the income growth is highest amongst all allied activities, the growth rate in the 90s declined over the previous decade. This mismatch between employment and income suggests jobless growth in agriculture as well. For a proper understanding of the reasons for this disconnecting trend, an inquiry into the pattern of agricultural growth in the country is necessary. Agricultural income consists of income from crop outputs, field and plantation crops, livestock, fisheries and forestry. At the individual subsector level income for the crop and livestock sector, GDP at factor cost is 58% on the basis of current daily status CDS. The NSS data for employment based on a large sample are also available for the year 1987-88. Being a drought year, this has been ignored deliberately. A comparison of employment figures between the year 1983 and 1993-94 presents employment growth during pre-reform period, conveniently referred as 1983 to 93. This comparison between the years 1993-94 and 1999-2000 presents employment growth during the post-reform period not available in the agricultural sector. It is largely based on crop and livestock outputs, which show that since the 1980s, livestock has been growing at a rate of more than 4%. As a result of high growth, the livestock output is now 1/3 of the agricultural, crop and plantation output. Since the 80s, GDP fisheries increased at an exponential rate of around 2%. Fisheries also improved its share in aggregate agriculture GDP from 2.5 to 4.4% in the year 1981 to 2003. The rate of income growth in fisheries has, however, decelerated during the 90s. Forestry, another subsector of agriculture, presents a different picture. The rate of growth in GDP forestry was awfully low, 0.02% during the 80s. The corresponding figure improved in the subsequent decade. Gender aspects of agricultural employment. In many parts of the developing world, women play an important role in agricultural production, for example, as farm owners, managers, sales agents, and field workers. Too often, this role has been overlooked, resulting in reduced impact or even total failure of programs related to agricultural development. Consequently, it is important that the system should give explicit attention to the role of women wherever relevant to its work. In particular, centers should review their programs, particularly those on farming systems, to ensure that the role of women is specifically considered and that the possibility of differential benefits to men and women is analyzed. Employment for women, apart from increasing the family income, also increases their say in the household decision making and enhances their status in the society. In a labor surplus rural economy, changes in the sex composition of the workforce have implications for the household income security and poverty in the region. These, in turn, also influence women's participation in the rural workforce. As reported, less than 30% of the rural workers are female at all the industries level. The proportion of female workers at all the industries level in the rural sector has increased marginally, 0.5% during the entire period 1983 to 99. The bulk of female workers in the rural sector are concentrated in agriculture. Other industrial categories wherein females are in sizable proportions are manufacturing and community services. The conference Women in Rice Farming IRRI 1985 set an example for national and international agricultural research institutions to begin exploring the relationship between specific production systems and women farmers. Reason for integrating gender into agricultural development projects are economic productivity of the rural poor is largely about enabling women to realize their full potential and to improve their own and their families' quality of life. Women represent the majority of the rural poor, up to 70%, especially where migration, marital instability, male mortality, and single parenthood have left them as heads of household. Research shows that better nutritional outcomes and welfare gains can be achieved from improving women's education level access to resources, and control over income. One important goal of agribusiness efforts is to improve the productivity of labor. Given that women's representation in the agricultural labor force is increasing, gender concerns need to be addressed to ensure the continued growth of women's productivity in this sector. In this context, gender relations, roles, responsibilities, access, and control over resources and services assume special significance. Emerging options in agricultural employment. Agriculture in the present discussion does not include only crop and livestock activities, but also forestry and fisheries. Employment in these sectors is closely associated with the performances of these sectors. Agriculture and its allied activities emerged as important in recent years and have also a significant bearing on the intensity and quality of employment in the country. Employment in agriculture, to some extent, is directly proportional to the cropped area. However, there are lesser chances of increasing the net sown area with the kind of pressure on land. In crop-based agriculture, there is possibility of increasing employment by substitution of crops. In this context, vegetable growing is more labor-intensive as compared to many other crops. There is sufficient scope of increasing the intensity and quality of employment by altering resource utilization. Some emerging options in agricultural practices are precision farming, organic farming, integrated crop and nutrient management system. It is difficult to say whether a shift to these farm practices would necessarily increase employment in agriculture as such. These farm practices are knowledge intensive, and the adoption of these farm practices would increase the demand for skilled extension workers to help farmers. Vermicompost is a labor intensive enterprise, quite suitable for women as it can be produced in their backyard with household food left over during their spare time. Production of vermicompost on a large scale needs supportive infrastructure for packaging and marketing of these products. The above suggested activities are knowledge intensive and require knowledge providers at the village level with up-to-date information about precision farming, integrated crop and nutrient management, and possible allied activities of the region. The importance of extension services, however, increases when technology and the market become the main driving forces for agricultural development. As these units cannot afford to invest in tractors or trolleys and similar other lumpy goods, they will require a human workplace. This holds good not only for the crop and dairy activities but for efficient organization of many allied activities in the rural sector as well. In this situation, the need for physical service providers apart from knowledge providers would increase. This has the potential to emerging as an important rural activity. Allied activities. In recent decades, with the decreasing size of land holdings, allied activities have emerged as important. Considering the kind of competition between man and beast for food and fodder and ultimately on land, there is not much scope for expanding employment in traditional allied activities like dairy by increasing numbers of cattle. Poultry, another important allied activity, has peaked in the last one decade owing to its phenomenal growth in certain pockets of the country. There is scope for increasing its spread across the country. Certain lesser exploited allied activities like beekeeping, seri and lac culture must not remain an occupation of the people living around forests. Some of these activities, especially beekeeping, has been extended to oilseed growing and orchard inhabited regions of the country. This trend needs to be strengthened further. Inland and marine fisheries. Modern fishing practices such as oceanic purse seining, oceanic gill netting, bottom trawling, and dynamite or blast fishing have led to the rapid decline of the fish resources beyond the point of recovery in the shallow zone. Development of marine fisheries beyond the shallow zone requires special kind of infrastructures. Eco-friendly fishing and fish farming are effective answers to sustained growth in seafood production and employment. The floating net cage culture of fish, which is very popular in China, can also be adopted in India for growth and employment in fisheries sector. Forestry. The scope of employment in the forestry sector largely depends on government's attitude towards the people living around forests. Agricultural employment across Indian states. India, located in South Asia, is a large country that ranks second in the world in terms of population and seventh in terms of geographical area. Its civilization is very old, dating back to at least 5,000 years. Its greatly diversified land includes various types of forests, broad plains, large coastlines, tallest mountains, and deserts. Employment status and earning capacity of the labor force are important determinants of poverty. Besides, social stability gets affected when a large number of persons remain unemployed and do not have the feeling of doing something worthwhile. The labor force in India consisted of 363 million people, 270 million rural and the rest urban in 1999-2000. Table 3.8. Agriculture continues to be the dominant source of employment in rural India. Balla and Hazel note that agriculture accounts for 73.9, 63.9 and 60.2% of the total employment in 1972-73, 1993-94 and 1999-2000 respectively. The share of agriculture in employment has been falling very slowly compared to its share in GDP. With 60% of the workforce producing a quarter of GDP in 1999-2000, productivity of a typical worker in agriculture was 1/4 of his counterpart in non-agriculture. Information for the years 1983 and 1999-2000 is based on Current Daily Status (CDS) of employment and is for important states of the country. In a span of 17 years, the share of agriculture in rural workers declined by only 2%. At a disaggregate level, there are mixed trends. In 6 out of 17 states, the percent share of agriculture in the rural worker has not declined. These states are Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Bihar, Andhra Pradesh, Maharashtra and Orissa. In the later 3 states, this particular phenomenon is more conspicuous. It is interesting to note that in all the above states, barring Karnataka, agricultural income growth is less than the country average 2.8. The state of Maharashtra may also escape this disadvantaged group since agricultural growth in 80s in the state is very high and sustenance of that growth with a moderate rate less than the country average during 90s is not less credible. From these two state-level instances, one can infer that the pull in agriculture has attracted rural workers in the respective sector. In Andhra Pradesh and Orissa, the dearth of employment opportunities in sectors other than agriculture, as is apparent from the low growth of the non-farm sector, appears to have pushed rural workers towards agriculture. The push phenomenon becomes more evident with a low growth of agricultural income in AP and negative agriculture growth in Orissa during the 90s. In states like Maharashtra and Bihar, employment growth in the non-farm sector is higher than the country average, which prohibits us from arriving at the above inference. But a different rate of growth of the economy in these two states, high in Maharashtra and low in Bihar. It definitely shows a different development trajectory in these states. In Bihar, the poor growth in agriculture and aggregate economy shows that the non-agricultural sector, even though it is not doing so well, is employing a significant proportion of workers. This probably indicates that the non-farm sector is also emerging as the residual sector following the poor status of agriculture in the state. The state-wise trend in agricultural employment shows mixed trends during the 90s. Agricultural employment declined in many states. As a result, employment elasticity was negative for many states during the 90s. Employment elasticity was negative for only a few states during the 80s. Negative elasticity during this period was because of a decline in agricultural income rather than employment. NREGA scheme. National Rural Employment Guarantee Act (NREGA) is the first ever law internationally that guarantees wage employment at an unprecedented scale. The primary objective of the Act is augmenting wage employment. Its auxiliary objective is strengthening natural resource management through works that address causes of chronic poverty like drought, deforestation, and soil erosion, and so encourage sustainable development. The process outcomes include strengthening grassroots processes of democracy and infusing transparency and accountability in governance. With its rights-based framework and demand-driven approach, National Rural Employment Guarantee Act (NREGA) external website that opens in a new window marks a paradigm shift from the previous wage programs. The Act is also a significant vehicle for strengthening decentralization and deepening processes of democracy by giving a pivotal role to the Panchayati Raj institutions in planning, monitoring, and implementation. Unique features of the Act include time-bound employment guarantee and wage payment within 15 days. Incentive-disincentive structure to the state governments for providing employment, as 90% of the cost for employment provided is borne by the centre, or payment of unemployment allowance at their own cost, and emphasis on labour-intensive works, prohibiting the use of contractors and machinery. The Act also mandates 33% participation for women. Over the last 2 years, implementation trends vindicate the basic objective of the Act. Increasing employment opportunities. In 2007-2008, 3.39 crore households were provided employment and 143.5 crore person days were generated in 330 districts. In 2008-2009, up to July, 253 crore households have been provided employment and 85.29 crore person days have been generated. Enhancing wage earning and impact on minimum wage. The enhanced wage earnings have led to strengthening of the livelihood resource base of the rural poor in India. In 2007-2008, more than 68% of funds utilized were in the form of wages paid to the labourers. In 2008-2009, 73% of the funds have been utilized in the form of wages. Increasing outreach to the poor. Self-targeting in nature, the program has high works participation of marginalized groups like SC/ST 57%, women 43% in 2007-2008. In 2008-2009 up to July, the participation is SC/ST 54% and women 49%, strengthening natural resource base of rural India. In 2007-8, 17.88 lakh works have been undertaken, of which 49% were related to water conservation. In 2008-2009, up to July, 16.88 lakh works have been undertaken, of which 49% are related to water conservation. Financial inclusion of the poor. The central government has been encouraging the state governments to make wage payment through bank and post office accounts of wage seekers. Thus far, 2.9 crore up to July 2008, NREGA bank and post office accounts have been opened to disburse wages. The ministry is also encouraging the National Rural Employment Guarantee Act (NREGA) workers to obtain insurance under Jan Shri Bima Yojana. NREGA has enhanced the employment opportunities in agriculture and related activities and has not substituted them. Agricultural employment across states has improved with the introduction of National Rural Employment Guarantee Act scheme along with emerging options in employment in agriculture such as allied activities. Despite agriculture and allied activities accounting for only 14.1% of the GDP in 2011-12, the Economic Survey recognizes the sector's role in the country's economy as much bigger, with its share in total employment being as high as 58.2%. Fast agriculture growth and reforms in the sector remain vital for jobs, income and food security, the survey notes, while reinforcing the need for setting the growth target at 4%. In the last 5 years, the growth rate achieved has been an average of 3.6%, which remained short of the target of 4%. Food grains production was at a record high of 259.32 million tons in 2011-12 at a time when there were food shortages in many parts of the world and steep hikes in food prices.